Why do you have that? Okay. Hello. I have made this video 10,000 times because of this one. He's distracting and I'm tired, but he's cute and adorable, and I have an hour to lunch. So here we go again with another take and another action of my thoughts and opinions and a theory on Death Note, the Netflix movie. Yeah. So I know that there are hundreds, probably even thousands of people who massively hate the Netflix version of Death Note. There's a lot of words called whitewashing getting thrown around, and other stuff. And I can't blame them for disliking it. I really hate to say this, but America has a very, very bad run with turning Asian movies into American movies and making them very, inadequate is my word. But don't take my opinion on that. It's just how I feel, because a lot of people liked Dragon Ball Evolution, and those of us who are fans of Dragon Ball thought it was a piece of junk. Same, and if you don't believe me, go watch Nostalgia Critic's review on it. And then, there's The Grudge. The original was better. I liked it. I got creeped out more by the original than I did by the American version. The same happened with a few other ones that were adapted from Asia, and I think it's mostly Japan, actually. My bad. So, the Japanese versions were better. So the characters of Death Note varied massively in the American version compared to the Asian versions. I do believe there is a movie adaptation of Death Note in Japan where Light actually has kind of the similar reaction to Ryuk when he first meets Ryuk. Leo, no! No. Sorry. Thank you. And I don't really like the Japanese movies either. I am not a fan of the Japanese adaptations of Death Note. Mostly because I don't like how they created Ryuk. I will admit, though, that the American version was really decent on creating the character Ryuk. I feel pity for the person who had to be in the puppet suit, because I heard it was a puppet suit and it was animatronic. So I'm sorry that you had to be in something so hot and probably heavy. I think they did a real good job on the character Ryuk. The character Light was a total flip from the original character. The character L was a massive flip from the original character, because if I remember correctly, there were telltales of the fact that they all thought Al never slept, and that when he did sleep, he slept in the same position, but his eyes were wide open. He was always eating candy, or he was always eating something. Mostly, I think in the anime it was candy. And Al never showed any emotional qualities at all. He was very awkward, especially socially. And in the movie, the American version, they made Al very humanistic. They made him extremely moody, extremely emotional, and they made him kind of impossible to really root for. They also made Light very ignorant. Because Light in the movie was very smart. He was able to plan everything before anyone ever planned it, which is why his battle with Al May was so amazing, because they were both a step ahead of each other. Al sometimes would get the upper hand, and then Light would sometimes get the upper hand, but that's what drived them to up the other person. I mean, their relationship was amazing. They were friends, but yet enemies. They were always trying to outdo each other, and whenever Al died in the anime, that's kind of like when the anime ended up dying. I mean, they brought in the other two characters. I can't remember their names right now because I don't really like them. And usually when Al dies, I kind of tend to stop watching the series. Because like after Al, this thing is just kind of meh from there. And then, they really changed Misa. To me, I have feeling, I have, my thought is that Misa is such a tortured soul, because I mean, she had her parents were murdered, I believe, right in front of her. She was almost killed by a star crazy mad fan. So like, she's traumatized, which explains why she's so ditzy and why she's so happy-go-lucky, because she'd rather focus on being happy and making other people happy and ignoring everything around her, rather than relive in constant fear of the traumatization that she had gone through. Which kind of shows a little bit whenever she's captured by L and kind of tortured by L. And then you kind of see that desperation that she as a character should have had from the beginning. So that's just my thought. I just think she's traumatized. But in the adaptation, the American adaptation, they made Light very stupid. They made Al very emotional, and they made Misa a snob. And she seemed to be smarter than Light, which isn't a true calling from the anime. So here's my other thought on this. What I think is what that they're doing with the American version is that they're making it an addition to the series Death Note. It's not necessarily Death Note's itself, it's a continuation of Death Note. Because in the original, in the anime, they talk about how Ryuk had conned the king of the Shinigamis into giving him an extra Death Note, and that is the one that he drops in the human world. So it is new, it is empty, there has nothing in it. All he did was write the basic rules of how to work the Death Note. But in the American version, the Death Note already had names in it. You can tell it was already worn in. There were added rules to it, and there were also there was also a warning to anyone who found the Death Note stating that Ryuk is not your friend. Don't trust him. So to me, that's where I feel like it's a continuation of the thing. I am sorry, but he likes to grab onto me when he's climbing up onto the couch. So that's why I feel like it's a continuation rather than a new adaptation of the anime itself. However, there is an inconsistency between the anime and this movie. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch the Japanese versions to see if this is if it's part of it. I love you. Because in the anime and in the manga, anyone who touched the Death Note was able to see the Shinigami, Leo was able to see the Shinigami that owned the Death Note originally. But in the English adaptation, when Misa touched the Death Note, she didn't see Ryuk at all. But, you know, in the anime, if you're, there are points where, hush. There are points where, don't put your shorts on your head. You go. There are points where, there's a point where Light and Misa exchange notebooks, and they both can see each other's Shinigami. And then, towards the end, before L is killed, everyone touches the book, and they all see Ryuk. So, there's that. So I'm wondering if, like, maybe this is a continuation of the Japanese version, which I am actually not 100% sure on, but it's something worth looking into. If anyone has watched the Japanese versions, please let me know, if that's how it happened in the Japanese movies. And I know what happened in the anime, but from a fan point of view, the movie sucked, and I'm really tired of you grabbing onto me to climb up. You can do it without grabbing me. So as a fan point of view, it sucked. It was horrible. The only thing as a fan that I kind of liked was the little twist in the end, where Al ends up writing Light's name in the book, which I wonder how that's going to turn out. I did hear apparently they are making a part 2, and also, as a non-fan point of view, I thought it was actually well done. It could have dealt without the graphic murder scenes that happened, because there wasn't really all that much graphic in the anime. In fact, I really don't mind if my son watched the anime, as young as he is right now, but it's not like I'm gonna show it to him. Anyway, so yeah, those are my thoughts, my views on the movie adaptation. Hopefully, if they are making a second half, that the second half is better. So anyway, have a good day, everyone. Love, peace, and chicken grease.